Okay, so we're going to look at the UPLIFT website, which is uplifttourism.com. And if you've been on the site, you've probably seen this homepage. Down toward the bottom, it shows the core counties that we work in. We also work in the contiguous counties. And just because you aren't in these counties doesn't mean you can't access our site and look at the resources we've pulled together. So we're glad to have those outside. We're hoping to add a Western core county set before it's all over. We're working a little bit at a time. So I'm going to, it's the homepage. I'm going to show you just a few real quick through the website because you've probably all been through it before. So you've got under the About tab, you've got About, you've got how it's funded, you've got listing and explanation of the people that are working for you and what they do, our objectives, our core counties, a little video of the program. If you haven't seen that, that is a really good explanation of what we do. I'm going to go back to the top because under About, we have phases. So phase one, we just finished phase one where they're collecting information and understanding the tourism assets in each county. They have met with many tourism folks in the core counties to just determine what the assets are. Phase two is where we are now, where we're going to start working with the communities to help build our tourism assets and prospects. And then phase three, we hope to get to that. Phase two will last about 2.5 years though. So one more thing under the About tab, complimentary programs. You're probably familiar with many of these. If you are not, click through them, see what they're all about. I know we have a Main Street person here. I've got some Main Street information, but these are all groups that we work with, and the websites are full of even more information that hopefully you'll find useful. I certainly always do. The next link is Get Involved. This, you guys might have already filled this out, but I encourage anyone who hasn't to fill out this form, and anyone that you work with in your organizations, I'm going to put this in the chat here, encourage them to fill out this form, because this is the way we're able to know things like what are your priorities for your communities. Sorry, I'm working through my technical issues here. There we go. So when you fill this out, we have a form that we collect all this information on. It helps us know what everybody is interested in. So that's the Get Involved. Below Get Involved, it's kind of hard to see. There we go. You see the phase two schedule, which is what we're in now. This is where you will find our, well, goodness. This is where you'll find our calendar. So what we've got on our calendar right now is our Knowledge Center walkthrough that we're working on. This one is today's, and then we're doing the same seminar tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for folks who can't come during the day. You'll see we've got a workshop coming up for the North Central region tomorrow, which most of our team is traveling to today. If you find something you're interested in, you can RSVP. In August, we have some really great workshops coming up. We're partnering with the Smithsonian to bring festival workshops into each of the communities that we're currently working with as core communities. And you'll see what date each of the 4 current core communities are. You can RSVP. It'll be a the people from the Smithsonian are coming down to do these workshops for us. So that's really a don't miss if you're able to go. This is just in a calendar form. But that is the schedule, and we add to that pretty much every day. You'll see also under Get Involved, the contiguous counties I was mentioning. So our core counties in dark green, the contiguous or touching, for the most part, counties that we also work in and have partners in are in the lighter green. And now we're going to take a little look at the Knowledge Center. This just launched, I want to say around the 7th of this month, but we've been working for months on it. So we're really excited to have it. This is where I hope you spend a lot of your time. In the Knowledge Center, you'll see Explore Our Resources. Under this, we have funding resources, which we will go through, workshops and webinars, which we will go through, market trends, sustainability, tourism incubator, and evaluation monitoring. So right now, because we're just getting started, these last 4 tabs, they're not populated yet. We don't have the information in there. We're still working on it. But this is, they're there as placeholders. So we will have market trends for you to see, use. We will have sustainability information, how to help your business be more eco-friendly. We will have evaluation and monitoring. This is where we'll be able to easily, at least easier, take your feedback. And tourism incubator. This is something we will have seminars on. It is I'm going to stumble on this if you have a better explanation for it. He is working more with this incubator soon. It's a package of information for businesses that participate in it. It will have a series of seminars, classes, learning to help bring a company or an organization from start to end and better familiarize themselves with the whole business model. I really muddled that up. Will, do you have anything to?
No, Kathy, that's perfect. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Okay, so keep an eye on this.
Yeah, yeah. Keep an eye. Our plan is to start this hopefully early fall. So we're kind of aiming in the months between September and October. So just keep an eye out. So yeah.
Great. Yeah. Keep an eye on this page, because once the information starts coming out, it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to save this funding for last because it's the most complicated of the resources. Workshops and webinars. This is where we'll keep the workshops that we are doing. So if you look for workshops, here's one we did a few weeks ago. This one was last week. So these are here. They're just like the webinar we're doing today will also be in here. But this gives you just all the webinars that we personally as the UPLIFT team have been working on. And back. Partner resources. This is a great resource because if you look in here, you'll be able to see resources like the webinars that other groups have put on, understanding how municipal service districts work. Here's some from Visit NC. So this is something to go through at your leisure. This preservation toolkit one was really neat, especially for the folks that are doing downtowns or your historic house that you mentioned earlier. So that is our partner resources. Same thing, it's still webinars and resources. Hello and highlights. I don't think we have any of those yet. What that is going to be are businesses or entities that will give a short story about who they are, what the highlights of their program are, kind of like an elevator speech, but a little more elevated than that. Will, do you have a better explanation?
No, Kathy, that's perfect. Once again, it's just understanding the storytelling aspect of who we're working with, and then just being able to bring all that together once we reach stage 3. So that's right, Kathy.
Great. And we have a team that is helping these organizations make these so they're as compelling as possible. But that is something still in the works. So that is the resources under workshops. Below that, explore our regions. These are the core regions that many of you are part of. Some of you are not yet a part of. Hopefully we'll expand. I'm going to use as an example just the Southeast. When you look in these regions, you will see information from our phase 1, where the leadership team met with different tourism organizations and stakeholders in each region to develop a blueprint of how we'll move forward with that region. There's a video on each of them. This is the entire document. Now, even if you don't have stake in any of the core counties, it is worth looking through any of these, because community involvement strategies could very well be something that would help your area, and not only the counties that we are focusing on right now. So you'll see, show you one more. Same thing for all of them, just different information because they all have different needs. Okay. So let's look at funding resources. So this is something people usually ask about. What we have done and continue to do is collect a resource of grants and loans. Let me click that here. We're building up a database that anyone can use. We have things that are available for any of the United States. We have some that are specific to one county. They're just very broad in scope. I'm going to click the loans one first. So you'll see we have categories. The loans one we are continuing to develop. The reason we have loans in here, let's see what's in here, is because we might find resources that are a better resource than just going to Wells Fargo and saying, I need a loan. You can find good rates. You can find some that if you follow a certain program, you can get some of it for forgiven. So for instance, this one under business and economic development, this is for member cooperatives. So you're a member of an electoral cooperative. This is just a little bullet, and each of them look like this. And then you click read more, and you'll see funding amount, funding cycle, a little more description, who can apply, business and local governments who are in an NC Electric cooperative. My local cooperative is Blue Ridge Electric. It's usually found in the more rural areas that you don't have a Duke Energy or a Power and Light. Additional information, locations, anywhere in the cooperative. And you'll see we have a link that takes you to their site, so you can learn more about it. Here's a link to additional eligibility requirements. If you're ready to just look at it and apply, this is the link for you to go to. So we have put up a summary of the loans and grants we found, but have given you ability to go to them. You go back a couple. So that's what you'll find under loans. We're still adding to this. Grants, always a popular topic. And again, this is for our core counties. Anyone can look at them. I'm going to click explore grant options. We have done a lot more research on the grant options to date. So we have a lot more categories. So if you're specifically looking to work on downtown revitalization, you can click that and you'll see some you're probably familiar with, the building reuse. Here's one for electricities, for anyone that's town is in an electricity. The National Trust Preservation Fund. And each of these, you'll be able to read more. Funding amount varies, matching funds. That's the amount of money you have to come up with, whether it's in kind or cash, before they can give you the grant. If there is matching funds that we're aware of, we put that in the matching funds. Rolling means you can apply at any point. You don't have a deadline you have to adhere to. A small description of what this is for. Renovation of vacant buildings. I know some of our downtowns have absentee landlords, vacant buildings that they really want to get fixed up so they can put them back into use. We don't want empty buildings laying around. Who can apply? It explains a little bit about who can apply. And this is for anyone in North Carolina. So folks in Black Mountain are eligible, just like folks in Williamston are available. And then you can go to their site to learn more. Now, if you, my back button, here we go. I think it's a user error. I don't think it's a website error. So you see, I'll just click on one more, arts and cultural resources. We always have folks looking for that. You'll see some art grants you've probably seen before. National Endowment for the Arts, Mellon Foundation. Hopefully you'll see some on here that you haven't seen before or wouldn't have thought of looking at. This greetings tour. Community mural grants. Lots of communities are asking about murals. Now you will see here, and you'll find this on some. This one had closed and didn't say when it was going to reopen, but always keep an eye on them if there's one you're interested in, because a lot of them will close annually. Say they close in September, and then they'll reopen over the next cycle. So you don't want to miss if they reopen. We try to keep these updated. Some of them are a moving target. And then toward the bottom, you have all grants. This is something if you're just, you're not really sure the category, or you just want to take a quick look at them all. See over here, my little slider, if you can see that, there's lots to look through. So I'm just, the arts we looked at. I just want to give you an idea of things like the Department of Commerce, which are common enough. This Halstead grant, it is specifically for, it says jewelry entrepreneurs. I want to say it's silver jewelry. So yeah, silver jewelry artist. So this is something, you know, if you are eligible for it, then great. Certainly not everybody is, but you'll find some of these that are very specific and many that are just very broad. The NC Idea micro grant, I've recommended that to quite a few people recently. It is a smaller grant, $10,000, And it helps, let's see here. It helps them get technical support from the NC IDEA staff. And it helps that business along kind of like a small business center would, but you have a lot more customization. There's a 6-week customer discovery and product launch program. It is very specific and a nice grant for companies that are just starting out. Again, my back button. I'm gonna chalk that up to user error. So get you out of that. Grants and loans. So that is what the Knowledge Center is for. The funding resources, we're adding to that weekly. We do the research all week and then we'll add to it about once a week. So it's good to keep an eye on, especially if you have a specific category, for example, farmers markets. If you know you're looking for money for farmers markets, it's good to just keep checking back on the farmers markets because something new will pop up. So that is our Knowledge Center in a tiny little nutshell. So I'm going to, well, first I'll ask, Will, do you have anything to add to it before I stop the recording?
No, I think that's it. Thank you, Kathy, for that. That was wonderful. Like I said, as time goes along, we're going to be adding new, loans, grants, and potentially even new categories that y'all may not see in the website, but are interested in. And another really good way to stay up to date with what we're researching, putting out on the website is to follow us on social media. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, sign up for our newsletter, YouTube, Twitter, and so forth. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much the Knowledge Center.